National Disability Institute, which is based in Washington, D.C. Basically, the National Disability Institute looks at just about everything that touches the life of a person with disabilities: asset development, affordable accessible housing, benefits in terms of being able to be employed and going to work, and how do you protect yourself, looking at Medicaid, Medicaid waivers, health insurance, accessibility and cost, and how do you save assets for the future. So we look at just about everything. Social Security Disability Insurance is a program that the Social Security Administration operates, that when an individual who has a work history, so when we earn wages and we start to work, we put money into what is called FICA, Federally Insured Contributions Act, and we create a savings account program, a trust. And if a person who is unable to continue to work because they have a disability, and because of that disability they're unable to work at a certain level of income in a month, they apply to the Social Security Administration, and if there's a work history in there, they would qualify for what is called Social Security Disability Insurance. So it's part of our retirement system, and it's an opportunity for people who are unable to work because of a disability to tap that pot of money so that they have money to live on. SSI is another program that the Social Security Administration operates called Supplemental Security Income, and it is also for people who have a disability, prove to the Social Security Administration that they're unable to earn wages because of their disability at a certain gross wage a month, but they do not have a work history, so they haven't had a lot of work in the past that's created a pot of money that they can draw from. So they then would qualify for Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, and they also then are going to be required to be financially eligible. So the SSI program, or Supplemental Security Income, has a financial hook and a medical hook, and in order to qualify you have to be eligible for both. Yes. In order to qualify for either SSI, Supplemental Security Income, or Disability Insurance, Social Security Disability Insurance, there is a medical criteria in order for you to qualify for either one of those programs. You have to prove to the Social Security Administration that you have a defined definition of disability that's proven by medical MD systems, and there are other evidence pieces that you can provide: an individual education plan, a spotty work history where you get hired and fired and hired and fired, so you can use those pieces as well. But you have to prove to the Social Security Administration that you have a medical definition. And because of that medical definition, you're unable to earn a certain level of a wage. And that terminology for that is called substantial gainful activity. And that number changes every calendar year based on the National Average Wage Index. So, for example, in 2008, it was $940 gross a month. That was the SGA level. For the 2009, it's $980 gross a month. So in terms of medical determination, medical eligibility, you have to have a defined definition, a label, and that label has to prove that you're unable to earn substantial gainful activity. And then you could qualify medically for either SSI or SSDI, depending on what you have in terms of a work history or what you look like for SSI financially. You apply through the Social Security Administration, so there's paperwork that you must fill out, and I encourage folks to fill out the paperwork and also give examples of how their disability gets in their way. That information goes to the Social Security Administration, and then they turn it over to a state contracted agent, and the national term is the Disability Determination Service. They are the organization that makes the medical decision. They go after the doctor's information, or if somebody has hospital information, they make the request of those folks, they develop the case, they make the medical decision as to whether or not an individual meets the criteria that has that is the Social Security Administration's criteria for medical determination. They then make a decision, send it back to SSA, and then you either are eligible or you are not. It's going to vary. The better development of an application, the more you give them in terms of information about how the disability gets in the way of a person's daily activity. So are you able to go to the grocery store, or does the disability get in the way? Can you get up in the morning? Can you feed yourself? Can you pay your bills? Can you get a job? What things get in your way of your daily activities? Those kinds of pieces of information need to be given as part of the evidence that there's a disability. If all those things are not done, then there is a great chance that you haven't dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's. And so what will happen is it'll go to this disability determination service. They will determine they don't have enough information to make a decision that yes, in fact, you are disabled. So it'll go back to Social Security and you will be denied. You will get an opportunity to file a reconsideration. You have 60 days to do that, and the process will start sort of again with maybe new information. It'll go back to the Disability Determination Service. They will try to gather additional information that you have given to them, and they'll make another decision, and that decision goes back to SSA. You'll get a letter from SSA that says you either are eligible or you've been denied again. If you get denied again, you have another 60 days to file what is called an appeal, and that'll take you into what is called the administrative law judge system. You will have to then wait your turn to get on the court docket calendar. So I could apply for benefits. If I get eligible right away, it'll probably take 3 to 6 months. If I become eligible through the reconsideration process, you're looking at probably 6 months to a year. If you have to get into the administrative law judge system, given the court calendar, it may be from the time you apply the first time till you finally jump through all those timeline hoops and get to the administrative law judge, it may be 2 or 3 years. So it depends. First of all, when you have a disability, depending on what the disability is, if it's what we call a hidden disability versus a physical disability that somebody can actually touch and see, it's hard for people to share what they're unable to do. So they don't like telling people that they don't know. And the chance of anyone actually interviewing an individual about who they are and what they do is not very likely. So you have to share what you're unable to do on paper. And that's painful. People don't like to do that. And so they tend to not share that information. And the less they tell about how the disability gets in their way, the less chance they're going to have of becoming eligible for benefits. So people have to be willing to share and give examples. Tell me what it's like for you to go to the grocery store. Do you make a grocery list? Yes, I go, but I have to read every label on a can. And until I am clear that I know what's in this can, I am not buying my groceries. And sometimes I get tired and frustrated and I don't ever buy any groceries. So if that's the disability getting in the way, but you say on the form that yes, you can go to the grocery store, they're going to say, good for you, go out and get a job. But if you also give them the example of going to the grocery store and not being able to buy groceries because you get frustrated, and you never buy groceries, that's your disability getting in the way. So that example shares with them how your disability is making it difficult for you to function day to day. And if you can't function and do your basic life skills every day, how in the world are you going to go out and get a job?